Yo, what up, though? It's your boy Street Coder Nate, and today I'm gonna talk to y'all about becoming a software engineer the self-taught way. Okay, so I always tell people I'm a self-taught programmer, but then it'd be like, bro, you got a whole degree on about computer science on your wall. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, I got the paper on the wall. I went to the school, I did the shit. But let me tell y'all, when I went to the school, I started realizing that all the teachers were doing was literally regurgitating the words from the books that they told us to read before the class, or the videos that they told us to read. And you know, 9 times out of 10, students not finna read them books or whatever, or the watch the videos. So they don't. And then the teacher teach it like he just came up with this shit on his own. For real, for real. But I got hip on the game and I was like, oh, y'all not doing nothing but just reading the book and regurgitating it to us. So what I decided to do was start reading the book, and what I started realizing is that when I read the book, I could slow down when I didn't understand something. Then I could go look it up, come back to it, keep going. In class, he'll say stuff, keep saying stuff. It don't matter if I understand or not, because it's a class of 400 people. He not about to stop, and they supposed to. And you got any questions? And who finna ask to raise their hand in front of 400 people? After a while, I started doing it because I didn't really give a fuck. But most people not about to raise their hand in 400 people and say, I don't understand. So they sitting there and lecture just confused. So I started realizing, yo, I'm just going to start reading a book and doing my YouTubes and understanding. And on my own, I started buying Udemy courses. I started doing Code Academy, W3 Schools. I went in. I really taught myself web development before even taking intro to web development. I taught myself Python before taking intro to Python. And actually, teaching myself Python was the first time that I was trying to teach myself a new language. Like, I was in intro to East 183, and I was like, I want to learn like clean code and whatnot. So I also picked up clean code and learned that alongside of C++ in the class, but I didn't learn my own language. It was that summer, or that Christmas break, where I decided to learn Python, and it was on a Code Academy course, and it only took me like 3 days, and I was just like, there's no way I just learned Python in 3 days. But it was like, I came back to school that next semester, and I was like, you know what, I'll take an intro to Python course. It wasn't in the School of Engineering, so I was like, okay, it'd be a little easier. And so it actually was. It was way easier. I got an A in that bitch. But and the reason I got an A is because when I went through the course, everything I learned in those 3 days was what that course was about. I mean, they had a little couple other specific things, but on some real, everything I needed was in that Code Academy course, and that really changed my perspective on school at that point. And so I started Googling stuff. So I started teaching myself Arduino. I bought some Arduino sets. I'm really into hardware, for real. But I was too scared to do electrical engineering in college. It was too much. They told me I was going to, by starting electrical engineering as a sophomore, I was probably going to be there 5th year, 6th year. I said, computer science, only 3-4 years. Okay, cool. I'll be out this hole. So that's what I did. But now I teach myself hardware. But Arduino, started with that. Then I started realizing people was hitting me up all the time like, yo, you do computer science, yo, can you make me an app? And I was like, you know, I mean, I code C++ apps, and they in the console, and they don't look cute. They got a black screen. I don't really know how to create apps. But I was like, you know what? Too many people keep hitting me up about apps. I'm gonna go ahead and learn how to create apps. So I bought some books on Django, Flask development. I Googled it, and I was like, learn web development. And so the way that I started was back-end development with Flask and with Python, because there was like, learn web development with Python. I said, oh, I know Python. So I was like, I could use this Python skill that I just learned with back-end development. And so actually, it wasn't Flask, it was Django. So I bought a Django book, and then a Udemy course, went through the Django and the Flask, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I started understanding GET requests and POST requests and all the HTTP stuff on the back end, and it was like, okay, cool. I didn't really understand it in the grand scheme of things. Like, I didn't understand I was building a server, and that a server connects and serving data and all of that, but I knew that I built a back end that somebody could connect to one of my routes, and I could send them some data. That's what I knew. But it was fun. But school wasn't teaching me this. Like, I didn't take web development until like 2 more semesters. So school wasn't teaching me this, but I learned this on my own. It was really, really fun learning on my own. There was no pressure. Yeah, I had to Google and go through a lot of different forms, but what honestly that taught me how to do was become a programmer, because that's what programmers do. In my normal job, I Google stuff, I research. Honestly, programming is researching what's the best method, finding the best things, putting them together, and then going and creating. And so that's what like being a self-taught programmer taught me how to do. It was like, okay, well, you don't really have too many people you can rely on the internet. And so I learned how to Google, and that helped me in school, because in school when I was doing projects and it was complicated and I needed help from like TAs or the instructors, and they wasn't giving good help, I would just start Googling my shit. And honestly, I stopped using Piazza after a while. I stopped using it as a person asking questions and started using a person answering questions, because I just started Googling their questions. It was fun after a while. And so like that's what that's what self-taught programming really that's the best part of self-taught programming, is that you become self-sufficient. You're real dope at it. You start building what you need. But there like, just as there are good things about it, there are bad things. But let me talk about a couple more good things. Like I was saying, you build as you need. So you start thinking about the different projects that you want or different languages that you want to learn, and you just go learn it on your own. You don't have nobody telling you how to learn it. You set your own paces. I literally watch videos on double speed. And it was through self-taught programming that I learned that I like to get the information like fast. That's why I watch it on double speed. 20% of learning for me is just get the information. The other 80% of learning is research and using that information, that basic knowledge and whatnot. And so that's what I watch it on double speed, get the information real quick, and I'm like, all right, let's get my hands dirty. And I learned that's how I learned, and that was dope. And then I also learned that's how most people learn, and then I started teaching that way. But self-taught programming will open that door for you, but just like the university route is gruesome. Like there is flaws, because like I said, you don't have nobody that you can really talk to unless you know people who are developers. Who you got to talk to are these videos, or you go get you a tutor or something. But like, you don't really have classmates. You're really doing it on your own. You have to put yourself out there to find the communities where the developers are. There are communities, but you have to go find them, versus the university route or a boot camp route. The communities are provided because you're coming to one. And so that's one of the hard things about it. But like I said, it makes you a dog for real once you really start working at companies. Well, if you get that, you become self-sufficient first, and then maybe you find you some communities. Now you go to a company, you already know how to work in communities, but you're also self-sufficient, and you could knock out things on your own. And that's just a big plus. I'm all for self-taught programmers. Like, for real, I love self-taught programmers. I think anybody should be a self-taught programmer, whether you went to the university or you started at boot camps or you just started now. I think you should always just be learning. Think about different projects that you want to do and go find those different APIs, become familiar with them, and just start creating. Like, this is what self-taught programming really helped me do, is realize I am a creator. I'm dope. I can come up with projects in my head, and I can find the tools on the internet to build it with coding. That's honestly self-taught programming. And so in this last little couple minutes, I'll say, like, shoot, what's the steps then? What are the steps to becoming a self-taught programmer? And I'll just say, first couple steps is find you a project that you want to do. Find you a project. And once you get the project, you start detailing out that project, and then start Googling which language to build this type of project. So if you want to build a website, which languages do I use to build this website? And then they'll start, the Google search will happen, and then your subconscious will lead you the rest of the way. And so tap in. That's it. Be a self-taught programmer. It's dope. It's hard, but it's dope. It's dope in the end, and it will unlock a lot. It will show you a lot about yourself. So get you a project. Cool. So now that you got a project, and then you found out what languages you need to use, now you need to go figure out the specific things about that language that you need to understand. And these things are called syntax. Each language, like in English, we have our rules. in order for other people to understand the English, right? And so in computer programming languages, they have their rules too. They're called syntax. And so for each project, you probably have to learn some rules in order to communicate with the computer efficiently. But that's just it. Just learn the rules that you need for the project and solidify them. Go to another project, you'll realize that you're probably using some of the same rules over and over again, and then after a while they solidify in your head those rules, and then you don't even got to start Googling them anymore. You start Googling new rules and new things, while the things that you used to do is just second nature. You can knock those out quick, and you just keep building. It's like a muscle, really, honestly. And so you keep going off of different projects that you want to see. You look at your life, you say, how could I make a project that could better my life? An automation, a website, a robot, a machine learning algorithm, and then you just go and you detail it out, and you figure out the bits and pieces you need. That's self-taught programming, and that's beautiful for real. That's programming for real in general. I love self-taught programmers. Once again, you should be one. Always. I'm gonna leave y'all alone though. I'm gonna tap in. Y'all see my YouTube channel right here. Reason is right here. If you want to become a self-taught programmer, tap in with my YouTube channel. I tapped in with so many different YouTube channels when I was coming through, and I learned what they was doing and how they was doing it, and I incorporated my own little twist on it. So here we go. My YouTube channel is for you and everybody else. Tap in, become a self-taught programmer the street coder way, and I'm gonna get with y'all. Peace.